Welcome.
Hello,
I'm Bob Ross. Now, a lot of you folks have been sending me letters and asking, Bob, how's the album coming along? Well, we do have a lot of dank beats in the mix, but that's not the point of today's video. Today's video, we're going to be painting a nice, happy winter wonderland.
Okay, so today, as always, the colors will display on the bottom of your screen. You're going to need yellow, black paint matters, white privilege, fluid blue, sometimes you don't know if it's blue or violet, number 2 brown, bush green, domestic violet, and presidential orange. And for supplies today, as always, you're going to need your 2-inch brush. You know, it doesn't really matter how big it is, it's how you use it. You're also going to need a blade for making the mountains, but we'll get to that later. For the trees, I like to use a sponge brush. Not SpongeBob, silly. This is a sponge brush. And, as always, a little drink. You know, some people like to drink while they paint. And like I always say, you don't have to be lit to paint. But it helps.
Woo! Happy trees!
Okay, so let's jump right in. Today we're gonna start out with a little bit of yarrow to make a warm winter sun. It's my favorite part.
Whoops. Not so easy after all. Whoops. Not so easy after all. Okay, now, if you know a little geography, you know that as you start to move away from the sun, it starts to get a little colder. So what we're going to do is just transition this into a nice presidential orange and then a little bit of domestic violet. Remember, you don't have to clean off your brush. We're going to be blending this all real soon. A lot of people have been asking me lately, will it blend? And in the case of this guy, it sure will. Now, as you can see, you can blend as smoothly or as aggressively as you'd like. It's all up to you. Just depends on what you'd like to see in your little world.
Now, I'm gonna blend in a little bit of white privilege with some domestic violet. Combination you can usually get away with. Oh! Wow, Bob.
Not so easy after all. I hope you folks can see this alright at home. Having a little bit of easel trouble today. But remember, there's no mistakes, just happy accidents. Nice sunset.
Oh my me.
Oh myself.
Fucking Christ. Why that? Wow, that's nice. So, to create the mountain effect, we're going to need to use your knife. So at this point, you're going to need to use and grab your blade.
This is where you want to be a little risky, okay? You can go ahead and start applying the paint just like so.
Very lightly.
Keep in mind, folks, the key to a good mountain range is using your knife and just using the right amount of pressure, you know. Not enough to hurt you, just enough to scare you.
Oh! So you're just gonna want to use your brush to sort of smooth it out, run it down, and blend it out.
I'm a little bit behind because I had one of those happy accidents, as we call it.
Now it's important every once in a while to take a step back and see your painting from afar so you can see how...
Now just trace along. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, now that you have your mountains erected, we're going to move on to some happy trees. I'm just using the 1/2-inch brush. Bob prefers to use a sponge brush. It's really up to you. Now it's time for the test of your bravery. Just go ahead, start painting in some nice trees. That brown is a really nice contrast to that black. You know, if you end up getting a little bit too much brown number 2 on your painting, you can go ahead and just wipe it off. A lot of people ask me, Bob, how do you make your trees look so good? And the truth is, I do. Now it says 8 minutes. The brush is getting a little dry and hard, so I'm going to go ahead and need to clean that off a little bit. Let's get that nice and wet. Go ahead, dry it off. Make sure you get it real good. Oops. Still got a little bit of white left on the tip, but that's okay.
Now, I think we're going to add some foliage to our happy wonderland. And to do that, we're going to need to use a little bit of the bush green. Some people don't like a lot of bush, but call me old school. I like a lot of bush. So we're just going to spackle it on right at the base. Look at that bush.
That's a good looking bush, Bob. My bush over here is a white bush, but I like your green bush.
Oh, thanks, Bob. The white bush, a little older, a little colder, a little wiser.
Let's take a look at our paintings and see how we did.
Wow, Bob. Good job, Bob.
That looks really lovely. And for those of you at home, remember, your paintings don't have to look just like ours or as good as ours. It's all about individualistic style. Some paintings will have their own unique characteristics, and that's okay. That's the great joy of painting. Alright, folks. Thanks so much for taking the time. We've really enjoyed painting with you. As always, remember to like, comment, and
Share.
subscribe.